All right. We are so excited to be here with you tonight. We have a special um, session where we are talking all things SFR, kind of sharing some of our favorite memories from when we've been to SFR as SSDs. And if we have time, we would love to hear some of your favorite memories, even in the chat. But we also have some giveaways. We're almost to 50 participants. So we're going to do some giveaways depending on how many people we have on the call. So if you have like team members, shoot them a message and say, hey, jump on the call. Or if you have a chat with your director and your team or in a Facebook group, whatever, message the people to get them on, because the more people get on, the more stuff we're going to give away tonight. So we are super excited that so many of you are here. SFR is one of my favorite events every year. We have World Tour, oftentimes in the spring, and then we have other events like a leadership for director and above. We have Star Summit, and we have a Superstar Director meeting. But then we have SFR that is for every consultant at every level. And typically it's in person. Last year it was not in person. This year it's not in person. Next year it's slated to be in person. So that's exciting because there's so many things that happen when you're in person, like the connections that you make and the friendships that you foster and help grow. It just is such a cool experience. So we've had quite record-breaking numbers of people attending SFR last year and this year. So that's really exciting because so many more people are able to experience SFR in a different platform. And hopefully, if those of you that have just attended SFR last year or you're just attending it this year, hopefully it gets you that much more excited to attend in person, because it's a pretty drastic difference in the experience. We have leadership, and they are not charging us for leadership this year, but it's a 2-hour session. And normally it's 2 days of training for 2 days and connecting with each other. Same with SFR. We usually have, I think 4 general sessions, like a night session, a morning, a night, and then there might be a couple more. I can't remember exactly, but there's usually a number of sessions, and we're only getting 3 as with virtual SFR. So it's a different experience because you're by yourself. Potentially you might be doing a virtual gathering with people, or you might be Zooming with your team, or you might be watching it by yourself. You could be going to a place with your team. There's lots of, everybody kind of does different things. So hopefully you are connecting with your director to find out what's going on. Are we going to watch it together and ask them, or also maybe just plan something with your people if you have people under you to get together to watch it, even if it's over Zoom. I think that is super valuable. So it'll be great for you to tune in. I know there are some really awesome things that are going to be shared this next week with you at SFR. So to get you excited about it, we as SSDs have decided to share a few of our favorite memories from SFR in years past. This will be my 16th SFR. Oh, there's the food delivery boy. Thank you, Ryder.
Got some food.
Thank you. This will be my 15th SFR that I've been to. And over the 15 years, I have countless memories of so many things that have happened, so many highlights, so many aha moments, so many like just kind of mind-blowing things that have happened. Every year, these 2 things are my favorite. The keynotes that we get from Orville and Heidi, those hands down are my favorite. It's really cool because they always have some message to share with us to help us in our life, not just Cincy. It can be all encompassing in different areas of our life, which I really, really love that. And they have pre-recorded. They're in London, obviously now, but they have pre-recorded for SFR for next week. So I'm excited to hear what they have to say and to share. That for sure, those two things every year, standalone, the best things that I can think of. So I'll let someone else share, Rochelle or Veronica, if you want to share. We can just kind of take turns who's going to share. That would be awesome.
Hey, Lindsay, I'll share.
Okay.
So it seems like SFR is always at the perfect timing in our Scentsy business because July is always one of the slower months, a J month. So it kind of helps get my mojo going. And I always feel like, okay, maybe can I do Scentsy another year? And something about what the guest speakers have to say, networking with other consultants, being with them face to face, it always gets me going again for the rest of the year, for another year of Scentsy. Every time it's something different. My very first SFR was in Denver, and there was a big pajama party, and I was like, oh my gosh, these girls are crazy. The Scentsy spirit is just so crazy. And then by the end of SFR, I was one of the crazy girls. But it just makes you connect with other people on a different level and makes you understand that you're not alone. Like there's some feelings that you might think like, I'm the only one that feels this way. And then you start talking to other Scentsy consultants and you realize that so many people feel the same way. Definitely the guest speakers always, I feel like they're talking to me. Of course, they're not talking just to me, but it gets me, you know, in my personal business, in my personal life, with my family, whatever it is that's happening in my life, I feel like I needed to hear that and that I'm normal and I'm okay and I'm ready to, you know, hit the ground running with the new catalog. And it just builds excitement. I don't know what it is, maybe because most of the time we are out of town and we don't have to worry about kids. We don't have to worry about the house, about deliveries or anything because we're strictly there just for Scentsy. So I know this year is going to be a little bit different. It's virtual. My best advice would be to disconnect during the sessions and put 100% of your attention into whatever it is that's happening in the sessions. If you are in a group setting, network with the people that are next to you and just put your phone away, because I think that's one of our biggest mistakes that we make is that when we're there in learning time, like we're not really there 100%. So if you do that, I guarantee that you're going to get those aha moments that you need to help you for the next catalog season. So that's that.
Thanks, Veronica. Those are so fun. I love that. I love the guest speakers as well. I think there's so much value in learning from different people that have different life experience. I think of DeWitt Jones, that dog, I swear. He spoke last year at our virtual SFR, and he spoke, I think, 8 years ago at, maybe it was Denver. Was it Denver, Veronica? It was?
I think it was. You know what? Honestly, I got to be honest. Now they're all just one big blur. But
yes,
he was really good. I do remember him.
Yes, there was just this moment where he was talking about perspective and how you have to view things from different angles. And he had this stunning, so DeWitt Jones was a photographer for National Geographics. And he had this stunning photo of a dandelion, like a dandelion, but it was from the perspective of like being underneath and looking up and seeing the sky above. It was like chills when that happened. I remember that. And he shared it last year at SFR too. Mm-hmm. Same feeling, just like so much energy and life experience that other people have that we can learn so much from, which is so, so valuable.
Yeah, true. There was one I remember. I don't remember his name, but he lost limbs. I don't remember how or why.
Yes.
But when he told his story,
he was in the fire, right?
That's right. Yes, yes. But I mean, sometimes we sit there and we think like, oh my God, nobody wants to buy Scentsy from us. Oh my gosh, I can't recreate, blah, blah. And then we hear these stories from people like, this guy was in a fire, you know, and look at him. He's a motivational speaker now. And it makes you think like, man, there's really so much more to life. And we really should appreciate some things that we take for granted. So, I mean, I know that was more on a personal level, not so much like Scentsy, but I mean, they get you. I don't know how or why, but they do.
Lindsay, I'll go ahead and share next
Awesome.
if you
thank
want me to go ahead and go.
Yeah.
I'm Rochelle, and this will be my 13th. I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong. I lose track of time. I think it's my 13th
think you're
SFR to
right.
go to. Am I right?
I
Okay.
think Salt Lake was your first one, right?
Yes.
was
No,
Boise.
Boise.
So it might be
It was like
14.
1,000
No, you're right. You're
consultants.
13. Yeah.
Yeah. There was only like 1,000 consultants, and a couple of the memories I want to share. The first one was when I met Orville. We were sitting at a table. Lindsay was with me, and you would have thought, stop it. Sorry, my dog is in my office. You would have thought, I thought Orville was like the president of the United States. I was so nervous to meet him, and Lindsay's like, just talk to him. And I was like, I didn't know what to say. I was terrified. And then once I met him, I was like, seriously, I was nervous. And so I remember that one distinctively. And then the first reunion I went to, I didn't know anybody. I did not know one person. And I ended up sharing a room with 3 other strangers. And it was the best experience ever. Like Alicia, I still call her my bed buddy. Like we shared a bed, never had met each other before. So of all the years, and then as you go, you kind of go with people that you know. But honestly, I feel like it was so fun not to know anybody, because then you have to step out outside of your comfort zone to meet people. So like this year is different because it's virtual. I know a lot of people are having things like they're going to houses or they're having them at their houses or whatever. But the big takeaway for me every year, and I tell people on my team this, I tell people in my group this, there is more to SFR than just Cincy related stuff. These are life lessons, the motivation that you walk away from going to SFR is unbelievable. It's nothing like you've been to before. Virtually, it's a little different because you're not around thousands of people. And so the energy is going to be different. But if you haven't signed up yet, if you're thinking about signing up, do it. Like you will regret it if you don't sign up, because of the guest speakers, oh my gosh, I can't think of what it's called. Orville and keynotes. The keynotes, like everything is like empowering. It's like I said, it's a mindset. It helps with your mindset. It helps get you ready for the next catalog season, but not only in Cincy, with life, with your family, with everything. Like, I don't know. I know there's so many things. I learned it all before reunion. And then we did it in the room, like we broke out doing dances. I forgot what it was called. Was it in Vegas?
Was it Cincy Spirit?
Like we had this whole dance that we practiced all before reunion, and then
you keep breaking up.
Came on. Remember it.
You keep breaking
but
up.
It was like a whole group of people did moves, and it was hilarious. It was like everybody would walk around and they would all start doing a dance practice. Yes.
Teresa said, "I'm Cincy and you know it." That's what Teresa said. Flash mob. You keep freezing, Rochelle. Now we lost her. Where'd she go?
I don't know when y'all stopped hearing me talk.
You were talking about the dancing, and Teresa said, "I'm Cincy and you know it." The flash mob, was that what it was?
Yes. Yeah. Yes, that's what it was. Sorry, again, this is one of the cons of living in the country. My Wi-Fi is okay. It makes sense. I never know. All of a sudden, Lindsay, you're stuck, like frozen.
You are too, girl. It's totally fine.
And you're frozen.
It's your internet, Rochelle. It's good times. Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. That's so fun. I love it. Love it. Love it.
I turned my Wi-Fi off, so now it'll work.
Oh, yeah. You're crystal clear now.
Sounds much better.
That's the way it works out here.
All right,
This is
who wants to
Jocelyn.
share now? Marie, do you want to go? I saw you were on there.
Yeah, I'll share. I'll do it really quick, guys. This will be my 8th SFR, and I love it. I'm gonna piggyback with Rochelle. Wow, it's much more than just Sensi related. Like it changes your life because it's a training where it changes you. You know, you could apply it to your business, you could apply it to your family, friends, like you could apply it in your whole daily life. And that's one thing that I take away every time when I go to SFR, every time. And then the motivational speakers, I'm a big crybaby, and that they kill me. They kill me because, like how Beto says, it like they seem like they're talking to you, but it reaches you every time. And I know I have a lot of girls that have gone to SFR for the first time virtually last year, and it hit them the same way. Like it was crazy that either in person or virtually, they get to you and they get deep down inside. I don't know how they do that, but they do, and it's so worth it. Other than the reveals, the holiday and harvest collection reveals, the location of next SFR, the incentive trips, all of that is icing on the cake. But really what you take from it of knowledge and really self-growth is priceless. So I hope you guys join in and encourage your girls to sign up. Tomorrow's the last day, just a reminder. But it's amazing. Thanks for listening to me. But yeah, I can't express how much I love SFR.
It's like this, I don't know what to call it, but it's like a sorority. Like we get all together and like it's like this empowering, like just like all hands on deck, lifting and helping and supporting in all areas. You'll hear things that people share that, and this is more general session that might touch on Scentsy products, but might be totally different, or but it will touch your life in one area or another, not necessarily Scentsy, but it could be personal, it could be marriage, it could be children, it could be in-laws, it could, you know, it could be lots of different things, and we all can hear the same message and hear something different, right? Because of what's going on in our lives personally. And then we take that and we propel it forward to whatever it is that it speaks to us in. So it's so fun. So fun. All right, who wants to go next?
This is Jocelyn. Hey, how y'all doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. Well, I joined last year, and last year was my first one, so it was virtual. So I haven't experienced the ones that you guys have experienced, but virtual last year was amazing, actually. I think everybody has really said the special parts were like the revealings of the new products and of the new catalogs and the holiday stuff and everything like that. But it is it's very interesting and very good. It's like everyone is saying, it's emotional, it's everything. So I really loved it. So I can't wait for this year as well.
Thanks so much for sharing, Jocelyn.
No problem.
Okay, I'll go. Don't mind my peanut gallery. They're here helping me plan our SFR. So I was making them stuff for me. But I will say my most, like, without choking up, but like my most special part of SFR is meeting my friends that are not in my downline or upline, but that we've done this with throughout the years. Those have been life-changing. Like when Veronica and I finally got to hug in real life when we had been friends for a very long time, and Marie and I and Rochelle and I, and like we have all these inside jokes because we've gone through all these types of trainings and came up through the workings under Lindsay, and so like when we finally got to be together, like the trainings are amazing, but like sitting hand in hand with like my people that like I've stopped and been vulnerable with throughout the year or things like that, like there is nothing more powerful than those relationships, and you cannot like explain it. If that like it's running onto an airplane and seeing your friend and like there she is, you know. And so those moments for me, I know we don't get that this year as much, but if you have anybody that's remotely close to you, like even last year it was just these two and two others, and we got together in my family room, and now this year we have way more than that, but it's we replicated it a little bit more. But for me, it's been those relationships that are standalone, and each are super unique. So every year it's been somebody else that I've been looking forward to meeting, but then all my friends that don't live by me that I'm like, I literally have to see you. I work with you and you were like part of my heartstrings. And so that's been my biggest thing. And if you don't have that yet, a lot of those relationships start at SFR, or they'll start virtually even. Like for me, it was always virtual because I'm in Idaho and I'm under Lindsay in Texas. And so I met all of her people virtually for the most part because there weren't many of us here. And so I'm used to the virtual side of it, but meeting them in person has like, it's engraved in your soul. And so that's the biggest thing that I would say. Even virtually, you will connect with, like Marie said, the people who speak. You'll connect with some of our field speakers. There's a lot of leaders that are doing some of the expo stuff, and you'll connect with them. And if they aren't where you are today, they have been there before. And so there's something that kind of connects you on a deeper level, knowing like, hey, they've been where I'm at. We've all been essential certified, lead, what you name it. We've all had those promotions. So when you reach them, we get excited because we relive what we were like. When Veronica made Star Consultant, I'm like, oh my gosh, you're really doing it. You're doing it. You know, like we were like cheering each other on. So that still happens for us when our friends do it. So we still get excited all over again when the next person promotes to a new level. And so those are my best parts of SFR, is meeting all my friendsies.
Awesome. Thanks, Bree. So I have everybody pulled up on a big screen, and I know some of you are not showing your face, and that's okay. But I want to see how many of you this is your first time. If it's your first time, hold up a 1. Okay, so quite a few. Oh, look, we have all these faces coming on. Yay, good. So proud of you for showing us your beauty face. I love it. So as a first-time consultant at attending CV, sorry, so first time attending SFR. That's what the question was. So as a first-time attendee, normally when we are at convention in person, they have a first-time attendee meeting where you get to go and you get to meet other consultants who are attending for the first time, which is really great because then you get to maybe meet someone who's feeling the same way as you are potentially, and everybody's kind of nervous, like you don't know what to expect. So I hope that us doing this tonight, you can see that there are a lot of people that are here and going to be attending SFR for the first time. And hopefully you can connect with your upline, because everybody got invited to this call tonight through your upline, right? And so you have that connection, which is connected to all of us on this call. So to bridge the gap, because you might feel like you don't know anybody, or you're nervous about attending, or maybe you don't have anybody that's hosting anything and nobody's doing a get together. And that's okay. It's okay to just soak it in by yourself and watch. But if you want to do something with someone, reach out, ask your upline, hey, let's watch this together. I am a last minute Linda this year. I have not planned hardly anything. And so we got our shirts done. That was like number 1 priority, right? But I know that just even getting together on a Zoom like this, everybody on your team that's watching and chatting with each other while it's going on and just watching the reactions, and that can create some great memories for you and your team. So if you are going to be watching it by yourself, reach out and see if anybody in your team or group wants to watch together. And you can watch together, even if it's your first time. I think that that is really important to know, that you don't have to wait for someone to plan something. You can create something of your own to do with others if you want. So first time attendees, it's a lot to take in. We have 3 general sessions. I think it's 2 hours, and then 2.5 hours, I think is what it is. So there's 3 sessions on Thursday, and Thursday 1, 2 on Friday. So just make sure you take time and set aside and put everything else away and shut everything else off and focus and watch, because that is when you really can connect and really kind of write down your thoughts as things are being shared, because something will come to you and you'll be like, oh, I really like this, or oh, I really like that. The cool thing about this is virtual, it's available for 30 days for us to watch. And I don't know about you guys, but after the SFR days were over last year, I did not get back on the website and watch anything after it was over. The days the SFR happened, I was watching all of the breakouts, and I was taking notes and watching different things, because there are so many trainings in the breakout sessions that you'll get to watch that are consultant based. So consultants are sharing what they do, like how they do parties or how they do this or that. So that is where you get a lot of ideas. So you definitely want to take time to watch those. But if you're like me and you just do it in the 2 days that we have SFR, and then you kind of forget about it after, that's okay. But I don't want anybody to have paid for that and then not actually take advantage of it, because there are so many great ideas and tips that come from those breakout sessions. All right, so let's open it up. I wanted to share one more thing.
Did you say,
Yep.
sorry, did you say, it's open to watch for 30 days after?
That's right. Yep.
Okay,
Am I
because
right
I
in saying
had,
that? Fact
yeah,
check.
I
Trish,
had
where you at?
someone on my team that wasn't sure if they'd have the time, so I would let her know that. That's great, thank you.
Yeah. No, you don't need an app. You'll get an email with the link and it'll take you to the website. So you'll just have it on the website and you can click the link from your phone or your computer, whichever you prefer. So my second favorite part of SFR are product reveals. They are so much fun. And this particular year, we were in, where were we? Well, I'll share and then you'll be able to tell me where we were, because I have a horrible memory. But it was a year where my group was sitting in the very front of this session, because when you go in person, you have assigned sections where you sit. And this particular session, my group was sitting in the front, like 3 rows, right, like next to the stage. And they were doing a product reveal, and it was a big reveal. Heidi was dressed in a red dress with white polka dots all over it. And it was the Disney reveal when they launched Disney Buddies. That's what they first came out with. So that's what they launched. And it was like such a cool experience. The room, like you could just feel the energy rising as they shared that we had partnered with Disney and we were going to be able to sell Disney products, which was really cool. So having Anaheim, was that in Anaheim, Johnny? Yeah, that was like 3 years ago. I feel like it was like a long time ago, but I guess not. But it was so cool. And I love product reveals every year. And it's just cool because there are so many awesome things that we get to share and that we get to go and sell to our customers. Like everybody probably thought of a number of people that would love a Mickey and Minnie buddy in that moment. I did. I was up front, Bree. You were not in my group that year. You had promoted to SSD. So your group was in the back row, not with mine. But it was so fun. It was so cool to just that energy and feeling the energy in the room and everybody just cheering. So as you watch SFR next week, watch for the product reveals. I'm excited. You'll see as you watch next week, why I'm so excited about a product reveal, but you're gonna love some of the things that are coming out. They're so, so amazing. So with that, anybody else want to share some of their favorite things about SFR? Anybody? I'm happy to call you out if you want me to. Johnny, you want to share? He's like smirking. I haven't seen you in a while, Johnny. I want to say hi.
I was gonna share, but then I changed my mind.
No, you're gonna share.
Um,
Go for it.
I think my favorite part about SFR, I kind of compare it to like a good Sunday worship, because you're just surrounded by all of these people that are like in the spirit of Sensi, and they're people that believe in the same thing as you. They believe in the company. They love the company just like I do. Like, and to be filled in a room, that are surrounded with all of those people, and then you have Heidi and Orville upstage, and I remember same place, Anaheim, when they stood up stage holding hands and they turned the lights off, and it was just like their shadow, and
So
it was gorgeous. Like, it just looked magical, those two just standing up there, because they've done so much. So I just compare it to a good Sunday worship where it's just amazing, and you just feel like not the Holy Spirit, but the Sensi Spirit, because it's there. So that's my favorite part, is when we're just all in that room and they're up there and sharing their hearts out, and you guys are all crying, not me, I never cry, but you guys are crying, and there's no dry eye, in the room, and I think that is my absolute favorite part.
I love that. Thanks, Johnny. So fun. It's so cool to see and feel just all the feels when we're at SFR, for sure. Like, I'm getting teary-eyed just listening to you talk about it, not getting teary-eyed. I'm always the one that cries. Don't worry, it's fine. All right, anybody else want to share? Don't be shy. Cheryl,
I
do
have
you
a
mind
question.
sharing? Oh, go ahead.
So what does SFR stand for? Like,
Oh, great question. So back when I joined Cincy years ago, I called it Cincy Convention, which it's a convention where we get together and we learn and we do all the things, right? That's a typical convention. But at one point, and someone will remember, I have the worst memory, but they decided to change it to be a family reunion. So they call it Cincy Family Reunion. So it's convention, but that's what they call it now. So SFR is Cincy Family Reunion. So when you are sharing on social media next week, there's hashtags that you can use. You do hashtag SFR 2021. And then we have a hashtag for our group with our shirts that we did. It's We Rise 2021. That's, was that right? Did I say that right? Yes, I did. So as you're taking pictures, make sure you're using those two hashtags to share, to get everybody excited. And it'll be fun for us to connect on social media to see what everybody's doing in the different areas of the world, and to just kind of see each other virtually, I guess, if you will. So, all right, Cheryl, do you mind sharing? You've been to convention a number of times, not as a consultant and then as a consultant.
Right. So I went as a guest for many years, and then once I got close to retiring, then I went ahead and joined. But it's like a big family. And so it is a family reunion. And the connections that are made are lifetime connections with consultants, with the headquarters staff. And I think for me, it's Orville and Heidi, and just they're so down to earth, and they treat everybody just how you expect your mother and dad to treat you. They just take you under their arms, and they lead you along the way on this journey. And so does the headquarters staff and the superstar directors also. So it's a great time. I was worried last year with the virtual, but I was amazed at how much energy there was virtually, and people and the pictures and the groups that got together. So it's a great experience and a great training, not just, like they say, not just for Sensi, but for your life experiences.
I love that.
That's it.
So much, Cheryl. You're awesome for sharing. Thank you. Thank you. I think that's the cool thing about Scentsy. I've never done another direct sell company, so I cannot speak for any other company. But the culture that we have in Scentsy is one of my favorites. The camaraderie, the connections, and the just empowering that we give to each other. Like we're always cheering each other on and not tearing each other down. And it starts from the top. It starts at Orville and Heidi, and that's the culture that they have created in this business. And to see it unfold with everybody that's there is something that I really, really appreciate and enjoy for sure. All right, anybody else want to share? Teresa, do you want to share? I don't know if you're able to. I'm going to ask her to unmute. Let's see. Oh, she said she can't. Okay, that's all right. Anybody else want to share? And maybe first timers, if you want to share what you're most excited for, you're welcome to unmute and tell us what you're excited about learning. Leanne,
I'm willing to go.
Okay. Kate, awesome.
So I started going in 2019 was my first year, and I went with Bree and Erin and Kathleen, and I loved the fact that Scentsy, even though it was my first time, I was not singled out. I wasn't put on the spot. I wasn't questioned. I was welcomed in as if they were really my blood-born family. And that's another thing about Scentsy, is that we don't care about anything but showing each other love, compassion, laughter, all kinds of stuff. And the best thing that we showed that year was the Scentsy Buddies. We had the unicorn come out that year, and a horse come out that year. And my daughter saw that, and OMG, that was her first thing. Mommy, get me that. But as a group, we all laughed, we all cried, we all held hands, we all did the moves, except me, because I was in a wheelchair. But it's just really awesome how much Scentsy is a family. And I had people I'd never, ever met or even knew about come up and give me a hug. Like, where can you go that random people just come up and give you love? And it's just something really fun to be shown. And I didn't go last year. I wish I had. I am praying I can make it this year.
You're so awesome. Thank you for sharing. I think that it's cool because you're right. Where else can you go where you're going to get random hugs from people? Like, it just doesn't happen. And random strangers that will come up to you and just gather together and say hi and talk to you. So that's awesome. Teresa shared in the chat, she said, best experience ever, 2008, first time to go as a team of one, knowing only one other person, came home with dozens of new friends and a vow to never miss a Scentsy function ever, and she hasn't. Almost 13 years later, oodles of friends. So it's pretty cool how you can connect and meet new people and build relationships and become lifelong friends. One of my dearest friends, who is like my soul sister, is in Cincy, but we didn't know each other before, and without Cincy, we wouldn't know each other. So it's pretty cool how that can be. And then you have people that you've done life with forever. Yes, Bree, that's you. We were in middle school together, and here we are all these years, what, 40 years later? No, I'm just kidding. Doing life together in Cincy. So as you think about people you want to do this business with, think about that. Think about people you've gone to high school with. Think about who you want to spend time with and to connect with. And those are the people that you want to come and join Cincy with you. So with that, we are so grateful that you all jumped on tonight. I'm going to stop the recording.